we'll have AGI in the commercial sector. The US military won't be able to implement it super fast. Chinese military could, and they could direct all their resources to implementing it in the military and therefore solving, military logistics or solving some other aspect of like disinformation for targeted certain set of people so that they can flip a country's politics or something like that is actually like catastrophic versus, the US just wants to, because it'll be more capitalistically allocated just towards whatever is the highest return on income, which might be like building, factories better or whatever.
So everything I've seen, people's intuition seems to fail on robotics. So you have this kind of general optimism. I've seen this on self-driving cars. People think it's much easier problem than it is. Similar with drones. Here, I understand it a little bit less, but I've just seen the reality of the war in Ukraine and the usage of drones on both sides. And it seems that humans still far outperform any fully autonomous systems. AI is an assistant, but humans drive. FPV drones, where the humans controlling most of it, just far, far, far outperforms AI systems. So I think it's not obvious to me that we're going to have swarms of autonomous robots anytime soon in the military context. Maybe the fastest I can imagine is 2030, which is why I said 2030 for the super powerful AI. Whenever you have large scale swarms of robots doing military actions, that's when the world just starts to look different to me. So that's the thing I'm really worried about. But there could be cyber war type of technologies that from social engineering to actually just swarms of robots that find attack vectors in our code bases and shut down power grids, that kind of stuff. And it could be one of those things like on any given weekend or something, power goes out, nobody knows why, and the world changes forever. Just power going out for 2 days in all of the United States. That will lead to murder, to chaos. But going back to export controls, do you see that as a useful way to control the balance of power geopolitically in the context of AI?
And I think going back to my viewpoint is if you believe we're in this sort of stage of economic growth and change that we've been in for the last 20 years, the export controls are absolutely guaranteeing that China will win long term, right? If you do not believe AI is going to make significant changes to society in the next 10 years or 5 years, right? Five-year timelines are sort of what the more executives and such of AI companies and even big tech companies believe. But even 10-year timelines, it's reasonable. But once you get to, hey, these timelines are below that time period, then the only way to sort of like create a sizable advantage or disadvantage for America versus China is if you constrain compute, because talent is not really something that's constraining, right? China arguably has more talent, right? More STEM graduates, more programmers. The US can draw upon the world's people, which it does. There's tons of, foreigners in the AI industry.
So many of these AI teams are all people without a US passport.